Welcome to Primal Armor, a podcast centered on helping each and every listener strive for a healthier tomorrow. I'm your host, Jeff Kimple, and I'll be covering every aspect within the field of health, helping you build that strong foundation for improving your physical health, mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, and more. It's time to take your personal wellness into your own hands, and Primal Armor is going to help you reach those goals. I just want to thank you for taking the time today to tune in and listen to today's topic. Enjoy. Before we get started into the episode, I just want to take a few seconds to thank today's sponsor, Anchor Podcasts. They allow me to create and edit these podcasts for you guys. They're also the ones who distribute this podcast to other platforms such as Spotify and the Apple Podcast app on your phone, so you guys can listen to it anywhere at any time. It's everything needed all in one app. I encourage you all to get started today. Go download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and follow the podcast. For episode 22, I'm covering a new phrase that I just heard and I absolutely love. It's called health is wealth. And I've said this a few times before, but this right here is by far my favorite episode. And it's one that every single person needs to hear. Whether you're someone who takes all the steps needed towards living a healthier life, or just someone who struggles and their health is lacking because of it, this is something that needs to be heard by everyone. You only get one life, one body, and there's no amount of money in the world that's going to buy you a new one. Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, is on pace to become the world's first trillionaire. He earns right around $9 million per hour. And not even that type of money is going to be able to buy you a new body or a new life. Therefore, your health is by far the most priceless thing in the entire world. But, sadly enough, there are far too many people that neglect that and regret it years down the road. Some do this out of ignorance, and that's just one reason why I wanted to make this episode, so they realize how big of a deal this actually is. And others do this because they realize how important it is, but they just don't know where to start. They have a hard time sticking to it, and they just think it's hard to do. So, in reality, it really isn't as hard as it seems, and it's not hard whatsoever in the grand scheme. It's just of all the problems that can occur of neglecting your health over the years. First, I just want to put it in perspective to you how expensive it really is to not take care of your body. On a yearly basis, the average person spends nearly $10,000 on healthcare expenditures. Now picture having an extra $10,000 in your pocket every single year. How quickly that'll add up, and what other things you'd be able to use that and spend that on. And as a nation, here in America, we spend over $3.2 trillion on our healthcare every year. This is doctor's visits, doctor's procedures, and medications. The average person alone spends over $1,000 each year on prescription medications. The age that people are starting to need these prescription drugs is becoming younger and younger, and that's because we're becoming unhealthier. The average age that I found people start taking prescription meds is about in their 40s. Now let's extrapolate that out for a second. Let's just say the average person begins their healthcare spending and their medication at 40 years old. Life expectancy is calculated to be 79 years old. That's almost 40 years of healthcare spending and close to $400,000 worth of medical bills. Now that's just the average. The unhealthier we get, the more that increases. Obesity has been proven to cause joint problems of all types. The average knee replacement costs $50,000. Now multiply that by 2 knees. The average cost of open heart surgery surpasses $300,000. Having a stent placed in your arteries due to blockages costs upwards of $15,000 per stent. And multiple people have multiple stents. So that just keeps adding up there. A lot of this cost is picked up by insurance companies, but deductibles can add up real quick. Now I want to calculate health insurance. Premiums cost more if you're at high risk, meaning overweight, on medications, or even having existing medical conditions. Just being overweight can increase insurance premiums by close to 50%. The average health insurance cost per person per year is right around $5,000. Add in those high-risk premiums, and you're paying an extra few $1,000s every year. Let's say an overweight individual is paying $7,500 per year on healthcare just by the time they're 40 to that end of life expectancy about 40 years later. They're paying an extra $100,000 than the average person is paying just for insurance premiums. And this is just from the age of 40. Some people start even younger. Some people start older. But this is an average. So, if you haven't had just a calculator running in your head to be able to just predict these numbers, this equates to paying over $500,000 in your lifetime because of neglecting your own health. Now take that between you and your spouse, and you're over $1 million in the hole due to an unhealthy lifestyle. Now do you see why this is such an important topic to focus on? People equate eating healthy to being expensive, which it is, and it isn't. Compared to driving through McDonald's and grabbing a burger, fries, and a large Coke for pennies on the dollar, eating healthy is expensive. But eating that cheap fast food is what gets you that extra $1 million spent in healthcare real quick. Eating healthy in the grand scheme isn't all that expensive. The average couple spends about $500 per month in food expenses. With that $500 a month budget, that's plenty enough money to find healthy options if you're making wise choices with that money and not just choosing to go out to eat. You'll be saving $750,000 in your lifetime if you choose to spend that money wisely. While it might be hard sacrificing in the start, choosing to become healthier now only means things are going to be easier in the long run. Think about avoiding knee replacements, avoiding heart complications, avoiding medical bills, avoiding prescription medications, all just because you started to home cook more and choose fruits and vegetables over McDonald's, junk food, and desserts. Also, think about how far $750,000 would go when it comes to retirement. Think about how much more life you're going to be able to enjoy by retiring at a reasonable age and in good health. That in itself can just put much more of a price tag on $750,000 saved in healthcare just by having more time to enjoy in retirement and actually being able to enjoy it because you're healthy enough. Then finally, the last thing I want to cover is the price of added years onto your life. I can put a specific dollar value on the price of healthcare. I can put a specific amount on what it is to take just to eat healthier and live a healthier lifestyle. The one thing you cannot put an actual price on is the added years on your life that you get with prioritizing your health. Like I said at the start, no amount of money in this world will be able to give you a new life. Research shows that if you do these 5 things, you can extend your life expectancy by over 14 years. They are eating a healthy and real food diet, exercising for 1 hour every single day, maintaining a healthy body weight, not smoking, and having no more than 1 drink each day. An added 14 years on your life is what makes this priceless. If you had all the money in the world and you could use that as the excuse that the extra spending on healthcare doesn't mean anything and you don't care what food you buy because you have all the money in the world, that 14 years is the difference and what makes this priceless. 14 years could be the difference in you meeting your grandchildren versus not. 14 years could be you becoming a great-grandparent for the first time. 14 years could be watching your kids live out their dreams and achieve their life goals. 14 years can be you enjoying your life with your spouse with all that extra money saved in the bank to go on trips and enjoy life together. 14 years can mean a lot more than any dollar sign could ever give you. And that is why life is priceless, and your health means more than you may have ever realized. I hope that you guys can really take this to heart today and realize how substantial of an impact living a healthy life can be in the long run. It's not about the money. I just use that for statistics and a representation of how much it can really make a difference. It's about the extra time you get and being in a healthy enough state to enjoy it for yourself and your family. Please take what I said and ponder it over the next few weeks and just really think about where you can make these changes in your life. No one's perfect, but each and every one of us can make another step towards the right direction. 14 years is a lot of time and can be a lot of memories and a lot of experiences. It's worth that effort. So please, share this with someone you care about. This might spark a fire in them. This might give you 14 extra years with them. This is something that everyone needs to hear. And I hope that you can just help me reach out to everyone you know. Health is wealth, guys. There's no other way around it. Take responsibility and take action. And thank you for listening to this podcast, and I hope you all come back and check out next week's episode.